A lot of times people see photographers or want their picture taken, but don't know how the whole process is done. Well, the way I work is today, I'm gonna have my son Blaine here, who is the unfortunate subject of a lot of photographic sessions, because I'm just trying out new techniques. We're gonna do some beauty lighting and some model lighting on them, where I have this nice big softbox here in front of him with a studio trigger, and on the sides I have some lights here. They're gonna kind of kick on the back, some kicker lights that are going to really kind of define the side of them. So we're gonna see the way that I work. I want to do a lot of things in camera. I don't want to have to depend on going to Lightroom or Photoshop or anything like that. I want to do them in camera. So the whole purpose of this video is to really show you how I work with a subject, even an unwilling subject in my son. But then I'm going to walk you through the process of getting the material off the camera and actually developing the photos. So here we go. All right, so don't worry, this will be sped up, okay? You won't be there forever. Let me test this out and get my focus points right. Right there, they stay right there, looks good. Yeah, I like that, I like that. Okay, so now, what I want you to do, oh, by the way, I'm shooting with a 50mm lens, Sigma 50mm art lens, shooting at ISO 100, I'm at f8, and I'm shooting 1/30th of a second. So just like that, okay? I want you to bring your forehead towards me a little bit. There you go, a little bit more. There we go, okay, now, that would feel uncomfortable, right? So now what I want you to do is bring it towards me, and then bring your chin up a little bit. I'm gonna give you a nice strong jawline, okay? So here I am in Lightroom, and I'm going to go and import all these photos we just took of my youngest. You can see I shoot all in RAW. We experimented with a lot of different things that weren't shown in the video. Some we were just playing around. He started getting annoyed, so I decided to annoy him a little bit more. I'm going to call this a test shoot. And let's go ahead and import these. Now, the biggest thing I talk about is I want to get things right in camera. I want to make sure that things are looking right. I don't have to spend a lot of time photoshopping, as they say, as you've heard the popular term, or making things look different. I want to adjust colors, I want to adjust this and the other, but how it looks and how it feels, I want to make sure it's done in camera. So I take a lot of time studying my craft, learning from my son. Unfortunately, so here's one of the images you can see here. He just threw on some clothes. It's on a black backdrop. I made it look a little gray. I didn't want it to look too black. And for this case, let's go ahead and zoom in, and you can see the sharpness of the entire photo. Now, I'm sure he won't like this, but the look is good, and there's no presets added to this. This is straight out of the camera. Here, he was kind of laughing. He's annoyed, but again, the photo looks good. You can see how sharp everything is. I'm using a 50mm lens at f8. 1/30 of a second, ISO 100. I do use a lot of Sigma lenses. Now, if I add one of my own presets, now you can see how much brighter and clearer he looks. That is just me setting up in my home studio and experimenting with different things. So, because he had a hoodie on, I tried some different looks. You can see here again, it's loading up, straight out of camera. Nothing added to it. I take painstaking care to make sure my lighting, my lenses, everything is set the way that I want to create the look that I want. Now here I use a little reflector here, what I added to it. Now look at that, I'm going to crop that. Maybe I'll bring it down a little bit to make it a little more ominous. There we go. That photo is good to me. I can go ahead and add some different stuff to it, but as these photos come in, I use a black backdrop, a white backdrop. Again, this is straight out of camera. If I add my own preset to it, how I want it to look, that is a clean, crisp image. Now here, he wasn't posing the way that I want him to, but that's okay, he's a teenager, he was a little upset at me, and that happens. We tried a couple on a white backdrop. To add my preset to it. Now, crystal clear shots. So when you're looking at these kind of things, I think one of these is ones that I really liked. Tell him to close his mouth. Boom. Now I can go in here and adjust different things. Let's say I want to take the exposure down a little bit here, Add a little bit of clear to make it a little more vibrant. Now that is a crystal clear shot of everything. I can see the hairs on his arm. I can go in and adjust for the kind of lens that I use, which is one of the things that I do all the time. So I'll go in here to the profile, and I'll change it to a Sigma lens. That's what I'm using. 50mm. Now that aberration is gone, but the photo was crystal clear. Okay? Again, I can go in, crop it a little bit. There's a shot. As you can see in his eye, there's some catch light in his eye. He's good to go. So when you're looking at photographers and looking at their work, yeah, things can look dreamy and shadowy and stuff like that. When you're talking about a clean, crisp portrait or other things like this, here, again, we switch to a black shirt. A little bit more slimming for him. Boom, there it is. And then I can go back and change what I want to change. Maybe I want to bring these up a little bit, make it a little bit softer on here. Bring these over a little bit. Ready to go. Out of camera, no photoshopping. I can go back in and change things in Photoshop if I want to, but that's not the way that I work. I want to make sure that my clients are shot good from the get-go, and when I go into Lightroom or go on different things, I'm not having to change a lot of anything. I can take some of that red out, make a little more here, the orange, I can push it up a little bit. However I want to. I can edit to your style, but when it comes to actually taking the photographs, I want to get them almost ready to go as soon as I shoot them. Out of the camera, ready to go. So if you have any questions about how I work, you've seen a little bit how I work, please feel free to drop me an email, shoot me a text, give me a call, and I'll gladly show you how I work. Thanks.